Information about the investigation of the embattled Brookside Police Department. The city's appointed special investigator says his preliminary findings suggest officers preyed on those least able to pay their fines. CBS 42 News reporter Jake Chapman live from Brookside tonight. So Jake, is the investigator saying there seemed to be some form of pattern here?
And Art, for the most part, he tells me that pattern was officers pulling over older make vehicles, say from the 80s, 90s, and 2000s. And he tells me when he first took this assignment, he thought this was just going to be a quick 2 to 3 week investigation. He says with everything that's come out in the past few days, that's not the case, and there's still a lot more to go. As the investigation into Brookside Police continues, the more horror stories Ken Simon hears.
But after you've heard 30 or 40 the same thing, you realize that this is a nightmare.
So far, his findings suggest officers weren't profiling by race, but rather if a driver appears poor, to which he says the less money someone has, the harder it is to fight charges.
There are people who are facing really an overwhelming mountain of fines and punishments, and really the only way out for many of them is to just pay.
But throughout the process, he says the city and Mayor Mike Bryan have cooperated with everything he's asked of them.
They're doing what they can to participate in this process and to be cooperative and not to be obstructionist.
And as he sorts every bit of information, his goal is to make sure this never happens again.
And I certainly feel a responsibility, to make sure that the story's told so that this doesn't happen again.
And we did reach out to Brookside Police and Interim Chief Henry Irby about Simon's findings, and does this change his approach on how he wants to change the department? He wasn't able to comment today, but once he does, we'll be sure to update you both on air and inside CBS42.com. We're in Brookside tonight. Jake Chapman, CBS 42 News. Local coverage you could count on.